Hello, everyone. This is Lisa, founder and executive director of Hope Grows. We are at the Iris Respite House today, and we are here talking with Scott Stevens from Right at Home. Hi, Scott. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. So glad that you're here today and being, a partner with us here at Hope Grows. If you wouldn't mind telling our listeners and our viewers, what is Right at Home? And
Yeah.
what do you all do there?
So, Right at Home is an in-home care agency for elderly and disabled adults. It started out in Omaha, Nebraska,
Okay.
in 1995.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And it started out as just a standalone home care agency, and he grew that, and over the years, decided to start franchising and expanding from there. Pittsburgh was one of the first states that they actually
Moved into. Oh, nice.
yes.
Okay. Didn't know that.
So, our East Pittsburgh office opened probably about 5 years after the Omaha office opened. And then our office is the West Pittsburgh office. We've been open for 10 years now.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And it's my dad actually opened it. He's the owner. I'm the director of business development. So we provide care in the homes for seniors that don't want to, leave or go into a assisted living facility. And sometimes it's not even that serious. Sometimes it's just, some light housekeeping and laundry. Maybe they have a bad back and they're not able to carry the laundry basket up and down the stairs. And, so that's something that we can help with. Do some dishes. Maybe just they're lonely and they need
Just
some
companion.
yeah, just some companionship
Yeah,
and
yeah. Okay.
they can just someone to hang out with. And we have for example, we have a lady who every Friday we take her to get her hair done and just take her grocery shopping, and
Nice.
it makes her day every week to just know that she's able to get that done.
Yeah.
So-
That's important too, because I don't know. I think we're on a trend where people want to stay home.
Yeah.
They want to stay in the home that they've worked so hard for all their life and actually die in that home,
Yeah.
and what a great opportunity for those to, be able to hire somebody to come help with those things. I always think about family, we're no longer that family unit that lives with just within streets of each other anymore. We're not only just nationally apart, we sometimes globally apart.
Yeah.
So this helps not only the family that is outside of maybe this area, but then it also helps, that person that still wants to remain at home.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's wonderful. So kind of moving on here. So why do you feel so inspired to do this type of work?
So it starts with my dad. I've watched his passion throughout the years since before I even joined the business.
Okay.
I've just seen how much he cares and truly goes out of his way to make sure that our clients are getting the care that they need. Both of us have, on several occasions, if we had an incident where, a last minute case where we couldn't provide a caregiver for, a client needed a ride to a doctor's appointment or something of that nature, one of us went and picked the client up and took them.
That definitely is a personal touch.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
And then extending on to that, it starts with our caregivers. They're extremely passionate, and I've seen on several occasions the way they go above and beyond to really show how much they care and to ensure the safety and comfort of the client.
That's wonderful because, it all starts, I think, with the leadership of the company itself,
Yep.
And the mentorship and the training that people get in that field to allow for that personal side of who they are to shine forth within that support they're providing.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, that's wonderful. That's so awesome to hear. So, Scott, in your opinion, what do you think the best resources are for family caregivers at this time?
Well, one of them is Hope Grows.
Oh, well, thanks for that.
And then there's a lot of online resources right now. There's agingcare.com, there's caring.com, and on those websites you can type in what your concerns are, the area you live in, or your loved one lives in, and it'll spit out some agencies and other companies that are relevant to what you need,
Yeah.
and they have reviews based on 1 through 5 stars, and the area agency on aging is another one.
Yeah.
But certainly you can also call right at home too.
Yeah.
Regardless of what the need is, we might know somebody that we can point you in the direction
Yeah.
to.
Sure. So tell me a little bit about if I were a family caregiver, wanting to call your company right at home. You mentioned and touched upon companion care, if I wanted somebody, for my mother on a Friday to take her shopping or do whatever, like the example that you had given. What other types of support do you provide? Is it all non-medical care, or is that a part of it as well?
It is all non-medical. Now we can do medication reminders.
Okay.
Usually we'll have the pills will be in the weekly strip containers, and we can remind them to take their medication that way. But but we're not licensed to do wound care or administer the medication, anything like that.
Okay.
But we do, in terms of other support, we provide a lot of personal care. So there's clients that need help getting in and out of bed in the morning.
Okay.
And at night, they need help changing. Sometimes they wear Depends, and they need those changed.
Okay.
We can do bathing in the shower or
so you do that type of support then too. Okay,
Yep.
just anything non-medical.
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much anything non-medical. Okay, that's good to know. And good for our listeners and viewers to know that too.
And that's up to 24/7 support too. We can go 7 days a week, 24/7 care, and as little as 4 hours per shift. So.
Okay, that was going to be my next question.
Yep.
So yeah, well, good. So because I know some companies, I think they do. You have to sign on for so many days a week, and we get a lot of those types of calls coming in. Like I don't want somebody. I just only need it for 4 hours, so that I can go do this. And so that's always good to know.
Yep, yeah. You can absolutely use us just one time if you need. We've had another example is we had a woman who could not get to her younger family member's wedding, and there was no options other than to call right at home and see if we could get. So we took her out, drove her to the wedding, and spent the day at the wedding with her, and then drove her home.
Oh wow!
And yeah, so.
Yeah, I think that's interesting that you mentioned that, because I think a lot of people don't think in those terms of outside support helping with.
Right.
So that's a good point, and good for our listeners and viewers to be able to know that.
Absolutely.
That's an option.
Yeah.
Have you ever had anybody ask to fly somewhere with somebody? I'm just curious. I'm thinking of weddings. Sometimes they're out of state.
You know what? I'm sure my dad would probably have some stories there. Yeah, I think he's probably been asked that before.
Yeah. Well, right. I mean, it's so real now that everybody's spread out. So I would imagine that's probably come up.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. So can you tell me of a caregiver experience that maybe you have had, or something within your company that has touched your hearts?
Yeah. So, this was a few years back. We had a woman who, she was in the late stages of life, and she was getting ready to pass, and her and the family were accepting of that, but the caregiver, really wanted to make her happy before she passed away and everything. So she did her makeup, did her hair, painted her nails, and made her feel so cared for and so happy. And the family noticed, how lit up she was after it, and that really meant a lot, because she had no one asked her to do that.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, and for your professional caregivers to be a part of that, and for that person to feel that comfortable with your professional caregiver, I think says a lot.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, how wonderful. I bet that was great. Yeah, that does sound like a wonderful experience. Do you perhaps have a personal caregiver story that you'd like to share. Something that personally, but not at work, but more personal. I think we're all in this line of work and nurturing and helping those that are more vulnerable and at different stages of their life because we have had a personal thing happen to us, or we just have a personal story that's touched our heart enough to want to go into that field or that line of work.
It's more so just watching the things my dad's gone through. I know, when he first opened, he was inspired by the care that he provided when he was about my age for his grandmother.
Okay.
And they didn't have a company available to them at the time for that type of care.
Right, sure.
So that's one thing that inspired him, and seeing all of his passion over the years is what inspired me.
Yeah, that alone is inspiring, and that's something that has touched your heart enough to go into that line of work because you see the joy that it's brought your dad. Yeah, that's wonderful.
And another one I just thought of too. There was a client of ours that we hadn't been taken care of anymore for over a month, but the family called us up out of the blue and was like, is there any way you guys can get somebody to take him to this appointment on this day? And we were like, yeah, we'll get somebody. We couldn't find anybody to do it because of our availability, just the way it fit our caregiver schedules.
Sure.
So I went to pick him up, and when I got there, he was so panicked and flustered. He was like, I need your help. He was like, can you go upstairs and get this? I think it was his wallet. And so I was like, okay. I panicked at that. I was like, okay. I ran up the stairs and got whatever he asked for and came back down, and I took him to his appointment, and the whole way there, he was like, oh, you're such a godsend.
Aww.
And, that we went to Brighton Hot Dog Shop after his appointment, had a hot dog and a milkshake together, and, just shared stories. And afterwards, a few days later, his daughter called up and talked to me about how much he loved spending that day with me and everything. And, so and I mean he passed away shortly after that, so I was glad that I got to experience that with him.
Be a part of his life, however short that might have been. It just probably meant the world to him. Well, and obviously you, because you're still talking about it. That's wonderful. So what do you think the most important thing that maybe your dad have learned in, providing the work that you do with family caregivers and even your professional caregivers? Because you see both. You're dealing with both. You're dealing with that family caregiver calling, and then, obviously you're managing and maintaining your staff of professional caregivers.
Right. So I mean, I think the most important thing is to really listen and pay attention to what the family caregivers are saying about their concerns for their loved one and what they believe are their loved one's needs and the level of care that's needed. Because we can go in and think that one thing is one way, but really the client might not want that. So
good point.
It's really important for us to listen and to be an extension of the family caregiver and provide the same care that they would.
Yeah, absolutely. That's wonderful to hear, because that's what we hear with all of the caregivers that call into our organization for that emotional and mental support. And it's just every story's so different. I mean, stress is stress, but the stress is caused differently. Because everybody's situation is so different. And I think why our model seems to be working, and your model too, it sounds like, is because you're taking it from an individual standpoint for each person that's calling.
Right.
Yeah, which is it's important.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's not a cookie cutter model that everybody's going to fit into.
It's all going to be different every time.
Yeah,
so.
Absolutely.
So right at home, there's over 560 offices around the world. We're in 8 different countries.
Oh wow, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Wow, holy cow.
Yeah, absolutely. We're pretty big, but each office is individually owned and operated.
Okay.
So there's for example, there's 25 Right at Homes in the state of Pennsylvania alone.
Wow.
There's 4 here in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
So,
Well, and that makes sense because Allegheny County, especially, like I think
Yeah.
we're still the second largest,
second or third.
second or third largest counties with the population of older adults.
Yep.
And per capita across the nation. So that makes a lot of sense as to why. Yeah. There's that need. Yeah. It's need based.
It's a pretty big need. Yeah.
Yeah. So you were saying there's 4 just in southwestern Pennsylvania, you said.
Yep.
Okay.
Right here, we cover, well, not our office, but Right at Home will cover, Allegheny County, Butler, Westmoreland, Beaver,
Okay.
all the surrounding counties,
Okay.
Washington.
Right. So if somebody hearing this would to call you, because I'm going to ask you here shortly for a phone number, and they're with, outside of your area, you will send them over to another Right at Home that's closer to their home.
Yep. And
basically.
And
Okay.
it's all, the territories are all based on zip codes.
Okay.
So, they're, sometimes it bumps right into our territory bumps right into someone else's, so we just would have to know the zip code.
Gotcha. Okay.
So.
Okay. And so, what zip codes? Do you know that, or is there too many?
There's too many.
Too many.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's
All
too
right.
many.
Yeah. I just thought I'd ask, but now that I thought about it, I thought Pittsburgh alone, has, oh my gosh, I don't even know how many zip codes.
Yeah. The easiest way to describe my territory is from Aliquippa and Hopewell and Ambridge.
Okay.
All the way up 376 and Ohio River Boulevard down to the north side and Mount Washington.
Okay.
So we cover everything in between.
Yeah. Well, and because we're using the audio and the video of this partnership that we're doing today, our podcast has an international reach right now, which is unbelievable. Like we had a couple of comments not long ago from Sweden. So it's quite interesting. So I was glad to hear that, you guys are global, because then, obviously if somebody's listening outside of the country, they could still try to find somebody in there. There might be one in their area.
Yeah.
Right.
I know.
That's
we're
cool.
even in Australia.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We had a reach out not long ago from Australia.
Really?
Yeah, we did. And we've had one from France. I keep hearing that what we offer here at Hope Grows is it's unlike anything that's out there.
Yeah.
Because
absolutely.
what we're doing is, we're looking out for the emotional and mental well-being of the family caregiver, not, something like you do, or,
right.
Our expertise is the family caregiver, not the care receiver.
Right.
And our expertise is not the professional caregiver either, even though professional caregivers can utilize and benefit our stress reducing activities.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
it's definitely unique to anything I've seen.
Right. And we're getting excited to, I know COVID in 2020 has really postponed our opening of the overnight bed and breakfast, but we're making some progress, and we hope to have it by September, if not the end of the year, that will be open to, a smaller pilot to start than what we had anticipated. But hey, I just want to get the doors open.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
get started.
Yeah, I think it'll be a good start. So I can't thank Right at Home enough. You guys have been, in our back door for, quite a few years now. You and your dad helped us with our turkey meals at Thanksgiving this year. And, I just see, an even better partnership moving forward, from here. Because once the doors open for this overnight, we can always be sending people your way for their overnight care while they're caregivers here.
There you go. That's
So I think it's important to start establishing partners in what we do, and I'm just really grateful of your interest in Hope Grows and what we're doing. So can you tell our listeners and our viewers how to get a hold of Right at Home?
Yeah, so you can find us online. Our website is www.rightathome.net/West Pittsburgh.
Okay.
And then you can also find us on Facebook. If you just search Right at Home West Pittsburgh, and you can find us on Facebook that way.
Okay.
And you can find me on LinkedIn.
Okay.
Scott Stevens, Director of Business Development.
And that's Stevens with a V.
With a V.
And could you provide a phone number? Because not all of our listeners and viewers might have the access to the internet.
412-788-6226.
Wonderful. Okay. Again, thank you so much for being here, and I look forward to the possibilities moving forward.
Yeah, thank you very much, Lisa. I really appreciate the time.
All right. Have a good day, everyone.